So here is CPIX Cumberland Pharmaceuticals. This finishes at $5.03 today. That is up 128.64%. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is AMC. This finishes at $33.94 today, and that is down 7.87%. Once again, we're going to talk about our favorite meme stock, AMC. This was trending number 2 on StockTwits today after Sheeb. Yeah, a lot of social media sentiment, so we'll talk about it. Now, there wasn't any real reason to justify this price action today. This is just because of the overall market sell-off and because of this new Omicron variant, FUD. People are scared we're going to go into lockdown again, and therefore you can't go out to the movies, and people are fearing that AMC is going to take a hit because of that. That's probably why the stock is doing so bad today. Not much else to say, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So for a while, this was consolidating. See, I drew this bull flag here. Symmetrical triangle, pennant, whatever you want to call it. This looked like it was consolidating between 44 and 39-ish. Today, and really the past few days, this broke out of this symmetrical triangle to the downside. So that is really bad. Not a good sign for what's to come. So that's a bearish indicator there. In addition to that, we do have this gap up at 1650 that was created all the way back in May. And honestly, I never thought that we would come back down to 1650. But it could be a real possibility if this continues to run to the downside and goes into free fall. So I wouldn't worry about it just yet, but there's a decent chance it does come back down there. So another bearish indicator there. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 3480 and 3365. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 3480, 3605, 3760, 39, 4020, 4195, 4325, 4460, 4615, 4795, 4955, 5125, 5240, 5390, 5515, 5675, 5805, 5940, 6110, 6235, 65, 6875, and then the high of 7243. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 3365, 3195, 3090, 2895, 2605, 2035, 1730, 1650, and then 1405. And there is support below 1405, but we're not going to discuss that right now. Should not be too relevant. So right now at this current price, $33.95, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized. So expect a good amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 62.35 to the upside, the channels open up and get pretty wide. And if this breaks 30.90 to the downside, the channels open up and get real wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if this breaks 62.35 or 30.90. The RSI is currently at 35. So not quite oversold and undervalued, but quickly approaching that. So this could be a good buying opportunity coming up. Not financial advice. And this did 41 million in volume today, which is below average. That's about half of the average. So that's a bit suspicious. Makes me think that today's sell-off was a fluke. Today's sell-off was not confirmed by the volume here. So just my opinion, not financial advice. I know the AMC army is strong, so I'm not trying to offend anyone, but this does appear to be pretty bad in the short term, at least. Like I said earlier, this broke out to the downside in this symmetrical triangle here. That is usually a really bad sign for what's to come. So this may start going into free fall and start selling off pretty soon. Not guaranteed, but usually when something breaks out of a triangle like this, either to the upside or the downside, the momentum follows that trend for a while. So yeah, that's a pretty bearish indicator. And again, we have the gap up at 1650, so it may be a while before it comes back down to 1650, but it's a real possibility, especially if this breaks 3090. If it breaks 3090, the channel starts to open up and get real wide, and this can start tanking very, very quickly. So hopefully it holds up and does not break 3090. If if it does, that can get very, very nasty. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. I mean, it's really not a bad price, but based on the TA here, it does appear like this will keep pulling back in the short term. So you should be able to get a much better price if you hold off and you're a little patient here. So I don't know how low this is going to go, but it should keep pulling back in the short term. So I just hold off for now and just observe the price action. Then I would come in and make your move. Personally, I'd try to wait until 1650 or lower. I think 1650 would be an excellent entry. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, personally, I would not do that because this is the meme stock and you really don't want to bet against the apes. Anything is possible. But just based on the TA, it does look like a pretty good short. Pretty risky stuff though. Yeah, you know, if it does pull back to 1650, that's about a 50% downside there. A lot of tendies to be made, a lot of downside potential. I wouldn't personally do it, but I could support it. Just understand it is very risky. It is a gamble. Going short here would be a high risk, high reward play. Could pay off pretty big. So if you want to do that, please do that at your own risk. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. Could be a pretty good buying opportunity coming up here. Not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMC. Okay, here is AERC Aeroclean Technologies. This finishes at $25, and that is down 78.7% today. So this was trending top 10 on StockTwits today. A lot of sentiment on social media. So let's talk about it. So this IPO'd 4 days ago and had a major run all the way from $40 to $117 at the high. So over a 200% gain in 3 days. Incredible. And today we have a major sell-off. A lot of apes getting wrecked here today. So this is a great example of not FOMOing. And to be honest, this is pretty typical of an IPO. You know, I always advise you guys not to go for IPOs. I personally don't like going for IPOs until months after they become public, because this is typically what happens. Usually things don't happen as quick, but generally speaking, when something IPOs, it goes up for a while. In the short term, the public starts to buy in. It usually starts pulling back and it starts to bleed back down below the original IPO price. This was like an IPO on steroids. It mooned and then it rugged. Usually it's a steady gain and then a slow bleed, not a moon and then a rug. But hey, typical IPO stuff here. So I can't say I'm surprised. So for everyone thinking about buying into IPOs in the future, just be warned, this is typically what happens. So I can't really analyze this. There's only 4 days of data. It is pulling back in the aftermarket right now, below 24 bucks. So that's a good indicator that tomorrow will sell off as well. The post-market and pre-market action usually is a good indication of how tomorrow is going to trade. If you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that and I would not recommend that just yet. This probably will continue to pull back in the short term. How low it's going to go, I have no idea. But I would say if you want to go long, just hold off, be patient, watch the price action, and when this starts to bottom out, then I would come in and make your move here. So I would support going long, just not yet. Be a little patient, and you definitely should be able to get a better price than 25. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, seems like a pretty decent play. You already missed out on the really fat tendies today. But like I said, it should continue to pull back to the downside in the short term. How much? I'm not sure. But going short here would probably be a low risk, medium reward play. You probably won't make the most tendies, but it's relatively safe. So I would support going short at 25. Please just cover as soon as it starts to bottom out. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. Very disgusting, but you know, everything's a learning lesson. Be careful with these IPO guys. Don't FOMO in the future. And good luck to everyone currently in this stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AERC Aeroclean Technologies. So here is CPIX Cumberland Pharmaceuticals. This finishes at $5.03 today. That is up 128.64%. So this was trending top 10 on StockTwits today. Major momentum. The stock squeezed today. So there was news as to why it went up so much. So let's check it out. Cumberland Pharmaceuticals shares are trading higher after the company announced the FDA approved expanded labeling for Caldolor. So I'm not a medical professional, but basically the FDA gave the go-ahead to continue with the manufacturing of their drug Caldolor. So great PR. Apes loved it, piled in, and squeezed the stock. This is a very low float stock, so really not hard to squeeze. So not much else to say, so let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, we have a gap up today at around 225. So that is a bearish indicator that is telling us the stock should come back down to 225 eventually to fill that gap. So right now this is sitting on the support of 505, which it finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next level of resistance would be 548, which it hit today, the all-time high. And if it breaks 548, then it's onto the upside, onto uncharted territory, and the market will decide for itself what the stock is worth. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be $4.10, $4, $3.90, $3.60, $3.45, $3.40, $3.30, $3.20, $3.10, $3, $2.90, $2.80, $2.75, $2.65, $2.55, $2.50, $2.35, $2.25, and then the low of $2.20. So right now at this current price, $5.03, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks $3.60 to the downside, the channel starts to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks $3.60 to the downside. RSI is currently at 82, so that is very overbought and very overvalued, so be careful, guys. And this did 207 million in volume today. Very, very significant volume. By far the biggest volume day ever for this stock. Average is 650,000. Yeah, insane price action, insane volume. Was not hard to squeeze this low float stock today. And in the post market here, this is pulling back. It's currently at 460. So that is currently a bearish indicator. Usually the post and pre-market action is a good indication of how the stock is going to trade tomorrow. So most likely the stock is going to trade to the downside tomorrow. So it appears like the squeeze may be over. A lot of bearish indicators here. Gap up, high RSI, high volume, pulling back in the aftermarket here. No bullish indicators except for the social media sentiment, which will have to fade eventually, and no neutral indicators. So the chart does look extremely bearish, in the short term at least. So this is a short squeeze. It's going to go down just as fast as it went up. Someone's going to end up holding the bag. Make sure it's not you. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. You would be FOMOing into a relative high, and you're probably going to end up holding some bags. Going long here would be a high risk, high reward play. Not worth it in my opinion, but I could support it as long as you guys understand you are gambling. But the smarter move would be to wait until this pulls back to 225. There is a gap there, and it should come back down to 225 eventually. I don't think going long at its current price, $5, is the greatest idea, but I would support going long at 225, which is like literally the all-time low. So that'd be a great entry, in my opinion. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, seems like an excellent play to me. Like I said, a lot of bearish indicators here. It should pull back in the short term, and it should come back down to 225 to fill the gap. So from this current price, $5, that is over a 50% downside. A lot of downside potential, a lot of tendies to be made. Yeah, going short here looks like an excellent play to me. Now, I will just say, there is still risk involved. The squeeze may not be over, but even if it's not, it can only go up for so much longer. So as long as you're able to withstand some losses here, I think 5 is an excellent entry for going short. So I would say going short would be a medium risk, high reward play. Definitely worth it in my opinion, and I could support that. Easy short in my opinion, not financial advice. I guess the big question is, will this continue to squeeze tomorrow? Possibly, but not likely, based on the TA we're getting here today. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up. Not financial advice, but chart looks really bearish in the short term, so don't get too greedy, guys. Secure the gains, and good luck to everyone currently in this stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is CPIX Cumberland Pharmaceuticals. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.